Hi, brothers and sisters. I just wanted to share something that the Lord highlighted to me. And I'm going to read from Luke 9 and starting from verse 37. Now it happened on the next day when they had come down from the mountain that a great multitude met him. Suddenly, a man from the multitude cried out, saying, Teacher, I implore you, look on my son, for he is my only child. And behold, a spirit seizes him, and he suddenly cries out. It convulses him so that he foams at the mouth, and it departs from him with great difficulty, bruising him. So I implored your disciples to cast it out, but they could not. Then Jesus answered and said, O faithless and perverse generation, how long shall I be with you and bear with you? Bring your son here. And as he was still coming, the demon threw him down and convulsed him. Then Jesus rebuked the unclean spirit, healed the child, and gave him back to his father. The bit that the Lord brought my attention to was verse 42. And as he was still coming, the demon threw him down and convulsed him. Then Jesus rebuked the unclean spirit, healed the child, and gave him back to his father. There's two things that took place here. In verse 32, the second part, Jesus first rebuked the unclean spirit, and then he healed the child and gave him back to his father. And the reason why I'm reading this portion of scripture is because sometimes we seek deliverance from certain issues or from oppression or things that are troubling us, and we end up placing a lot of emphasis on the deliverance part. But what we can forget, or what we often forget, is the healing, because demons feed on soul wounds. They feed on soul wounds. So if you have any, maybe you suffered some trauma in your childhood, maybe you had soul wounds caused by maybe something that someone said, and you never dealt with it, and that wound keeps festering, and now demons have access to your soul. They now come in and they feed off that wound. And that's when you end up seeking deliverance, because they will oppress you. And but what we often forget is that we not only need deliverance, we also need healing. Jesus didn't only deliver this little boy from the demon, he also healed him. And I believe it's two separate things, because I once watched a video on YouTube where someone said that deliverance is healing. Well, I agree with that, but in this case, we can clearly see it's two separate things, where Jesus delivered the boy, rebuked the spirit, and then he healed him, and then he handed him back to his father. Why I'm saying this is because when we just focusing on deliverance, but we're not dealing with the soul wound, we can end up recycling demons, because when the demon is cast out, but we haven't actually dealt with the root of the problem, then that door is still open and the demon can come back. So we need to also deal with the healing part, and the healing is where we have to walk it out with Jesus, where we have to ask the Lord to show us, bring to our remembrance anything that may have happened in our past, where a soul wound was created and we haven't dealt with it. To bring those things to remembrance so that we can deal with it, bring the emotions to the surface, and ask Jesus to walk us through the healing. It's a very painful process, and it can take time, because some of these things may come from our childhood. So it's not something that is instantaneous healing. Although I believe the Lord can heal anything instantly, but sometimes we do get the deliverance, but then the thought patterns are so ingrained that the Lord has to take us through things in order for those patterns to be broken, so our minds can be renewed and new foundations. The Lord can put new foundations there and break off all the old foundations, all the wrong patterns, the wrong thinking, the wrong ideas about ourselves, about others. So it's important for us to go through the healing. It's painful, but it's so worth it. And Jesus is able, if we just go to Him with childlike faith, and ask Him like a child would go to a parent, um, and humble ourselves before Him. He will help us. He will bring those things to the surface, and He will go through us with that. He will walk us through that healing, and so that we can, put the past behind us and close those doors so that demons no longer have access to us and can no longer oppress us. So I believe deliverance is important, but healing is equally important. And the healing that I'm talking about is not physical healing, but I'm talking about soul wounds, where it's wounds that you can't see with your eyes, but they are there. And how you know they are there is you will be oppressed by demons, because soul wounds creates an open door. Demons feed off soul wounds, and it leaves the door wide open for them to come in to oppress you. I hope this blesses someone and that it may help someone today.